In my eyes, I don't think abortion is a straight yes or no thing. I mean, not even talking about the initial phase, but I mean, it is in a way murder. It's
not.
At all?
It's not murder. It's not murder because you can't murder something that's technically not as out as a human being yet. It's not murder.
But it's got a heart, it's got a brain at a certain time, right?
I don't think it's murder.
Why? I don't understand.
Because depending at what stage, I get it. At what stage the person has the abortion, but there's sometimes that those parts haven't even developed yet. The heart, the lungs, all them things there.
Listen, until there's childbirth, it's not a baby.
It's not a baby.
Let me run something by you. In science, there's something called to define something living, they have to do a certain number of things.
Yeah.
Now, a single cell is alive.
Yeah.
This single cell, once it's fertilized in your belly, it's alive. So therefore, once you kill it, it's murder.
It's not murder. It's not murder.
It's not childbirth until the child come out.
But
So if you get rid of it, it's not nothing.
Who is to say that 24 weeks is a time when the child knows what's going on or is, can feel pain or whatever? Who's to tell you that?
There's nothing. Exactly. There's nothing to tell you they can, and there's nothing to tell you they can't.
So you'd rather go to the negative?
No, this is my own opinion, innit? I don't know what everyone else is, but I'm saying that I don't personally think that abortion is murder, and I just
okay. So what's your definition of murder?
Being killed.
That is being murdered.
Well, in the eyes of the law, you have to be living.
Yeah, you have to
being killed under the Queen's Peace.
Exactly.
Under the what?
Queen's Peace.
That doesn't matter.
Yeah, but
So
they don't
basically
have to be out
of the
and
vagina
alive. Exactly.
for it to be murder.
Okay,
But then
so,
okay. Let me run this by you. A mum has died.
Yeah.
Her baby is premature, and
Yeah.
they've taken the baby out.
Yeah.
But the baby didn't come up the vagina. It just
Yeah.
happened to be at a stage where it can survive on its own.
Yeah.
But because childbirth hasn't occurred, if someone was to kill that child, it's not murder.
No, it's not.
For me, once the baby exits the womb
Yeah.
But
and it dies, that's murder.
But then that's not.
Until it comes out, it's not walking on it. It's not dependent on the mother anymore to a certain extent.
But it's not dependent on the mother at a certain point. Before that, that's what I'm trying to say. There's a point in the womb.
It's always dependent on the mother. From
No,
when, yes. From
no.
when. What are you
Every
talking
time
about
you
now?
eat.
From when the cell enters into what
To
the
a
egg,
certain
whatever,
point.
It needs it's the woman.
So what about premature babies that go into the incubator and they're cool and they survive?
They're not all of them survive.
Not all of them, but there's a chance of survival.
And sometimes they need their mother's milk and things like that.
I can make that milk in a lab.
Oh,
What do
come
you mean?
on.
To be fair, like, I know obviously there's some situations where, you're put with that choice, but in my opinion, and I know it might be a bit controversial, I think if a woman gets pregnant, like she clearly almost wanted to, because there's too many precautions. No, I know that's controversial to say, but there's too many precautions to prevent pregnancy for it to be a mistake. So if you're having sex, there is that potential to be pregnant. There's the implant, the pill, the injection, there's so many things. Morning after, you got 72 hours, like there's so many things you can do before that. So for me, abortion shouldn't even be a choice. If you're having sex, be safe. If you don't want to have
But then what about people who get raped?
What if you get raped?
Okay, that, like I said, there is some extreme
But then there's in Ireland, women who are raped and then are pregnant, they can't get rid of their baby because it's a Catholic country or something like that. I personally think that's wrong. Like, if I get raped and I get pregnant, I'm not bringing that child into the world.
Yeah.
Like they are not given the option. Abortion, they don't do it over there, innit? So I don't know. I think
Like I said, that's an extreme circumstance.
so. Why is it not murder then?
So let me ask you this question. Okay, let me ask you this question. If your child is disabled
Yeah.
and they've, found out in the womb, would you consider aborting it?
Never.
Yes.
Listen, I don't.
No,
I personally
It,
couldn't.
it depends. It depends on my situation. If I am able to take care of the child, because there's no point in me bringing a disabled child into the world and I'm unable to care for it, because I'm only
But
going to
if you
suffer
I don't
can't
think
take
myself.
care of a
fair.
child, you can't take care of a disabled
No,
child. full
there's
stop.
a lot.
No,
There's a lot more
that's
responsibilities.
incorrect. That's
There's
very
a lot more.
incorrect. That's very
I,
incorrect.
no,
There's a lot more
I'm
responsibilities.
talking. My little brother's disabled, and my little sister has a disability as well. I'm talking like as a carer. If you can't look after a child, children are like very dependent anyway and very hard to look after. If you can't look after a child, you're not ready to look after a disabled child. Either way, like
Nah, there's a lot more responsibilities with a disabled child, because it obviously depends on how disabled they are, will depend on how much time you have to give
as
them.
a baby, can a baby go and cook and whatever for themselves? No.
Of
As
course
a
not, but you need to
disabled
realise
child,
this
depending
is
on
not.
what disability
But we're
it
not talking
is.
about just while they're a baby or toddler. We're talking until
Life.
they're alive.
It depends on the disability.
As I
What
said,
if-
it
okay,
depends
what
on
if you
disabled.
find out it's
But then, isn't the case of a mother's love is a mother's love, and she'd want...
Yeah, but I personally don't think in that case they should be able to tell you whether your baby's disabled or not.
Ah, no.
I don't personally think you
I
should
want
have
to
that
know.
because
I
of
wanna
that. There's
prepare
people
my
like China,
car and
like
stuff.
China, they ask to find out if they're having a girl or not. Yeah, and if as soon as they find out it's a girl, they abort it.
You can check
That's
before
because
that.
there's a rule that you can only have one child. That's
It's not about having one child; it's about the sex. They want to find out the sex of
yeah,
their child
because
they
they're
want
only
a
allowed
boy
to have one
Exactly.
child.
Yeah, exactly. But
In
that's still
China.
wrong.
Yeah.
It's still a baby.
Oh, China's a bit-
I think it's what.
Like I said, it all goes back. That's like playing God. Like, if your child's disabled, whatever. Obviously, it's unfortunate and whatever, but that's playing God to decide. Okay, well, you're faulty.
Okay,
Let's
now
take
let
you
me
back.
put it like
That's-
this. Okay, for example, one of my uncles, he had a daughter who was mentally disabled. She died when she was 8 years old. If you know that the eventuality of this disability is death, what's the difference between aborting it and then saving yourself 8 years of stress looking after this child and the heartache of losing a child?
That is true.
But then again, I mean, still, I do agree with Monique. It's still playing God. Like, at the end of the day, you don't know anything, innit? You don't know anything that's going to happen to anyone. So, in you having a child or you having someone that's close to you, there are chances that you lose them. But is that a good enough reason not to have them? Does that make sense?
As I said initially, it depends on if you're able to look after them.
Okay,
Because there's
say
no
you
point,
are.
There's no point in bringing up a child if you're unable to look after them and the disability. If you are able to, and you are happy enough to do that, of course.
But I think your opinion differs because there's some people I know would just be like, oh, my child's got a disability. No, I want you to be normal. It's nothing about like I can't look after them. It's just them saying I want my child to.
But
be normal.
there's no parent on this earth that can say, oh, if my child is disabled, like I'll be happy. That's not the case. When you have a baby or you're having a baby, you expect your child to come out perfectly. The first thing I said when I had my son was, is he normal? Is he okay? That's the first thing I asked for, because it's the worst hearing that there's a defect or he's sick and he had jaundice, and even that I was like, what, like freaking out. So no one ever goes in thinking.
So can I ask you then, if he had asked, is he normal once he's out?
Yeah.
He had asked, is he normal?
Yeah.
And he wouldn't have been, how would you have felt? What would
I would have loved him either way. But
Exactly,
that's
that's my point.
Exactly, yeah. But it's a thing like he was already a part of me. There's people who don't love their children just yet, innit? Like if you're considering abortion, that means you don't know like whether you're or not you're going to keep a baby. As soon as you find out you're pregnant, it's either I want it or I don't want it.
Okay, cool. I understand that, but you know, if people saw it as a case of me having this abortion is actually me killing someone, I'm sure the attitudes would change. 100%, the attitudes would change, because now it's a case of, I'm pregnant, I can get rid of it. When
People
can I
take
book
it.
in? Yeah,
People treat it like I'm taking paracetamol. Like
yeah, just
it's-
go and
it's
flush it
nothing.
out.
But
Do you
then
know what?
if
I'm
the
not-
technology was, if the technology has been created for them to make such decisions, at the end of the day, if you can take advantage of it, Why wouldn't you?
But
At
there's
the end of the day-
technology. I could turn myself into Beyonce if I wanted to. Like, I can go have so much plastic surgery. It doesn't mean that's right. Like, there's technology to do a lot. It doesn't mean it's right. I'm not even saying that
But
I'm
everyone's
100% against
version of right and wrong is different.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm 100% against abortion. Like, I appreciate that there are some scenarios where, like you said, rape is
But
it's
then,
deep. But
exactly,
I
but
think that
I don't think that you can make allowances for whether or not she's been raped and the person who is
You
got
can,
pregnant
because
at
there's
16.
choices
I don't
before
think
that.
I don't
There's
personally
choices
think
before
that there are choices before that, but I don't think that if you're going to allow someone who's been raped to have an abortion, that you shouldn't be allowed to someone who's 16 who's not ready to have an abortion to not have an abortion. It doesn't make sense.
So if she wasn't ready, put yourself on contraception that is free for under 18s anyway.
But not a lot of people they're not savvy about sexual health and
But whose fault
contraception.
is that?
and
Not the baby that's getting
It's
killed
not
and ripped
anyone's
out the
fault.
womb.
It's that it's when you have sex, you're making a choice, isn't it?
If someone kills you, we'll go into a burial and put you in the ground.
People bury their
People
aborted
bury
kids, you
their
know.
aborted kids.
And yeah, but most are flushed.
But
Thrown in the
this
bin.
is the point. It's the
Or use for
it's
stem
just
cell
because you don't
research.
see it, because once they take it, look, when they take out an aborted baby, there's stuff coming out, you know. It's not like nothing's there, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's something alive. And if they were to take it out and preserve it, they could actually grow it in some way. If there was technology to grow all aborted kids, we'd have them, do you know what I mean? They'd be alive. So you would be a murderer because you killed a kid. You killed, no matter if you kill one cell, I don't know, an organ, whatever. You literally are killing something or someone, do you know what I mean? So for people to just be like, yeah, I'm just going to book it next Friday. When can you do? Oh yeah, I got lunch. I'll do it in an hour.
No, I've got work.
It's-
No, this is not convenient.
like, it's not really, it's
By
not
the end
really.
of the day, if they cannot look after them, society is not going to look after that child. So the baby is born, cool. Who's looking after the child now?
But what I'm saying is, if we instilled a sort of thinking whereby, okay, what I'm doing, even before, when people are thinking, raw, I'm going to have sex. If she gets pregnant, that's a life that I'm going to potentially kill if I decide not to have it. Do you know what I mean? So if you're thinking that, you're not even thinking, oh, she might get pregnant. You're thinking, if I have to get rid of this is a life I'm going to kill.
It's definitely not considered how it should be. It's become so regular and so general.
Yeah, that
It's
is
just,
true.
it's one of
It's
those. It's like,
disrespectful.
okay, I don't want to take the pill. You know what? If I get pregnant, I'll just have an abortion.
Well, that's
It's
their
just-
choice.
I don't know anyone.
That's their
But you can
choice.
help by...
It's
if-
not help though, because the child, even if they don't have abortion and the child is brought up in this world, who's to say that the child will even benefit from being born? This
But
baby's
that's
come.
not.
This
That's,
is an,
do you
you've
think
now
that's
brought
a decision that you should be able to make?
an unwanted
Yeah, because
unwanted
if it's your
baby.
child,
An
of
unwanted
course it is.
baby's come. That's a responsibility that you have to take. You have to take on. If you can't afford to take it on, why should you?
No, I'm definitely against the choice of abortion being so free. I think that there's so many precautions before abortion that should be taken. It shouldn't be a choice whatsoever.
A baby is not a baby or a human being as per until they're born. So anything before that is down to the choice of the mother and the family as a collective. They are bringing in a human into the world, and is there going to be their responsibility for at least 18 years. And if that is something that they're unable to do, then abortion should be an option available to them at any stage.
I think that it's your choice, and I personally wouldn't have one myself, but I don't think it's murder when someone has an abortion.
Thank you for watching our videos, and there's plenty more to come. So now the important thing is for you to comment, to like our videos, to subscribe, and to follow us on the links below.
What you